drink lots of fluids. And fluids meaning more water than anything. I know we drink sodas, we drink what you call, I'm about to say Kool-Aid. That went back too far for you all maybe. We drink a lot of sodas, Slurpees, all that, but the water is the best. When you're out in the sun, you need to use a sunscreen because you will get burnt. And I would say dress in light clothes if at all possible. Don't be out there if you can help it with long sleeve black shirt on because the heat is just gonna make you hot. Just stay as cool as comfortable. If you get super hot, if you feel yourself sweating a lot, you need to go into a cool place, drink some water because you might be overheated. So those are just some of the things as far as heat. The afternoon is early morning, like before, I say 9, 10 o'clock when it starts getting hot. And early evening, late evening is usually the best time to go. To me, especially like 2, 3 in the evening. So those are just some of the things you use. I see it's a question up here about the sunscreen, and I use I think it's a 8. I don't remember all the numbers. I think it's like a 18 because they have different numbers on the sunscreen. And I use y'all, I wish I had it because it's right up in my bag. Well, I can't show you. But I can maybe on our while y'all are talking, I can run up in my bathroom because I have it in my bathroom and tell you the correct number because they have different
Not a problem.
and I will get that while you all are talking. Let me just say
Okay.
something about myself since I have been out for self care for myself. I have been doing a lot of things that I couldn't do not couldn't do that I did not have time to do when I was working. And one of the things I've been doing is I have an inspirational coloring book that I have actually done 3 pages, and that's coloring different crayons, different markers. I have done that while I'm sitting down looking at TV. My husband and I also grew a garden. Now I know that that's not tomatoes, watermelon, cucumber, all kind of herbs. And most of the time, I do go out and walk my dogs, which I usually almost never did. So this is a good time for you all to do something that you never got a chance to do, something that you want to do, like pick up a healthy hobby. This is not the time to be, I guess, going out learning how to, I don't know, anything that's out in the sun. But just try to do something that you would like to do that you have not been able to do before we get back to school if you all are coming back. Any questions? And I will go get my sunscreen.
Looks like there is no questions. That was very good. Well, if you want to go run and get the sunscreen, we certainly can, and we'll go ahead and fill some questions here.
Okay.
So I'm wondering from the audience out there, were you aware of the services, services that the nurses perform at the wellness center? Were you aware of those services? By a show of 2, if you could put a 2 in the chat, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Okay, excellent. All right. So as Miss Arnita is going to get the sunscreen, and this is great. I mean, real time information.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I think it's important because for someone, just speaking for myself, a long time ago, before I really started traveling to different places with much higher temperatures, whether it's outside of the country or outside of the state, I subscribe to a myth that I did not need sunscreen, which is totally untrue. Like, the sun will have its way with your skin if you're not protected. And you don't have to be overseas. You can be in Texas and have your skin burned. For someone, regardless of the hue that you have.
Hmm.
So, understanding what the different numbers mean for what level of protection, I think is really important.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
is.
So, Miss
Um,
Arnita, what do you have to
yes.
tell us?
You know what? Y'all, I'm so glad I had this upstairs and I forgot to tell you about something else pertaining to that, but I'll tell you this. The number was truly badly off. This is called a SPF and the number is 30. I
Okay.
was thinking when I was talking, I think I told y'all 18, but I was thinking it was a higher number, but the number on here is a 30. And
Okay.
and it says insect repellent and skin. This is a Skin So Soft product. So
Mhm.
you all know when you go in the store, because this Skin So Soft, there's so many products, but the number is the most important.
Very
So
good.
30,
Okay.
30 is what I had, but I believe 30 and higher. They might even have
Okay.
some 40 or 45 with that. And I also, when I went upstairs, I must do a color. And I forgot to tell you all to put that on. I had some cutter insect repellent, just spray a little bit of that on so the mosquitoes, the bees, the bugs, the ticks, everything don't be biting on you when you go outside.
Okay. All right. Some real good
So that's,
on safety. Yes. Okay. All right.
yeah, and
Very
that's
good.
special for facial cream. I saw a
Well,
question. It was asking about facial cream, and
yeah, it
you
says.
actually can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can do the. There's a facial cream, but you can put this. I put this on my face. This
Okay.
doesn't say it doesn't put on anything like that. They want you to put on your face and say do not apply it to your face. I do, and you don't have to put a whole lot. It's a lotion, so
Uh
you just
huh.
rub it in your skin. You don't have to slab it on thick. Just rub it in good, and you good
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
But you can put this on your face because it does not say not to.
Hmm. Yeah. And in fact, I guess if we're doing a show and tell, let me get the one that I use on my face. It's specifically for that.
Oh, look at us! I'm sorry, you all. I can't get on. Um, but Danielle's gonna show you what she has, so that's good too.
Just
So
it's
what I have is Sport Face by Neutrogena.
Mhm.
I can't take off the
Okay.
tag, but that's what I have. And it's an
Oh
S.
yeah.
Of course, they put the tag right over all the information that you need to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even. Oh, this is a SPF of 45.
Yep. It goes for higher.
Yeah, specifically for the face. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no. I'm sorry. I had to peel it back. An SPF of 70,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for the face.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really
Um,
protected.
Fully protected. Yes, yes. I like
Mm-hmm.
it because it's good when you sweat. You
Mm-hmm.
can still it still retains its effectiveness. Which, of course, in the summer you're gonna sweat. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
just one. Yeah, one
Okay,
recommendation.
that's good. So the
So,
numbers.
Miss Arnita, you had also talked about hydration.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is another. I told you all I'm doing stuff that I usually didn't do, and I didn't drink a lot of water. But now I have been making it a habit of drinking more water. And since I have a garden, I have been putting mint in the water, cucumbers in the water. What I got, watermelon in the water, everything, just to give it a.
Wow. Wow.
So
Um.
I try to drink at least. Ooh, for now I'm drinking a good four. I never drank no 4 glasses of water, and that's a bad thing to say, but I didn't. So now I'm drinking more water than usual. Um, if you're one of those bathroom people like me, I don't drink it after 6 because I'll be going to the bathroom when I'm supposed to be asleep. But during the day, I'm hitting water. And you can
Mm-hmm.
add like lemon. You can add what you would like to it if you want to give it a flavor. Instead of buying all these sports drinks, if you all are buying and drinking those Gatorades and all those sports drinks, you have to be careful. The Gatorades and everything, they're good for like workouts, but not to just be gulping down 3 or 4 Gatorades a day because they have a They have a lot of salt in it, so be careful for
Mhm.
those sports drinks in the store. It's so much stuff in the store now, different waters and all those sports drinks. You have to be careful. You need to read the labels. And the first thing on the label is the most thing that's in the whatever you drinking or eating. So be careful of those sports drinks.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, all right, good stuff.
Okay.
Devel, do you have any comments or questions for our audience?
I do have a few questions. Um, I have a question for the audience, and then I have a question for Miss Arnita. Excuse me, Nurse Arnita.
Yes.
And for the audience, I want to say to you all: have you ever tried a fruit or a vegetable infused water? Nurse Arnita said that she had some, vegetables and fruits from her garden that she has, put in water to infuse to give it a flavor to it. I see one person says, yes, they love infused water. I love infused water as well. My favorite, what does it say? I have water infused bottle. Okay, awesome.
Hey, all
Awesome.
Yeah,
right.
when you put it in
Yeah.
those are great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just, I hear a lot of people say that water is nasty. They don't like the taste of it. And so I can understand why a person would feel that way because, a person may feel like water just has a nothingness taste, but all water isn't created equal. And I tell you, natural spring water versus electrolyte water versus alkaline water, the taste is different.
Devel is a water connoisseur. Okay.
Yes, he
I'm
is.
just letting you know. Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
That's
That-
good.
yeah,
So,
and it's funny because again, we're talking about self-care. So I remember a point in time where I did not drink a lot of water. And I remember making the transition to drinking more water, and it just felt like a chore. Just, oh God, I got to drink another glass of water until, I started being a little creative, getting some water bottles that I can just have around with me. So all I do was just grab it and, chug one back. Or, the infusion of water. My older sister's she's a celebrity chef in California, amongst some other things, and she actually introduced me to infused water. And I remember one day going over her house, and she invited us over for dinner, and while dinner was prepared, she had like some hors d'oeuvres laid out for us, but she had water that was infused with mint and melon. And it was amazing. And it was like, I just couldn't stop drinking it. So, you take things back to your home and, we put cucumber in our water. We put orange slices and lime and lemon and whatever we can find that's going to add some flavor to the water, because not only is it medicine for yourself, but it's enjoyable as well. So that tip about infusing the water, I think, was amazing. So anyone else out there, have you tried a vegetable or fruit infused water? If you have, one in the chat line. If you haven't, put a
Mm-hmm.
0 in the chat line. Absolutely right. Water with lemon
Yes.
is a detox drink. And if you want to really get fancy with it, toss a little bit of cayenne pepper in there, and you really get some things going. Not
Oh,
too
wow.
much. Not too much.
Woo-hoo.
Not too much, but enough to get some things going.
Ah. Mm.
And my question for Nurse Arnita is there a recommended number of how much water we should be drinking?
They say 6 to 8 glasses.
Okay.
6 to 8 glasses. I'm hearing is what you should have. Which to me, and one thing I thought, like Val said, we have to be use that imagination. I went to the dollar store and bought me 4 pictures with different colors,
Mm.
and every day I fill that picture up. Well, when I remember, fill the picture up and put it in the refrigerator and drink that whole picture during the day, and that should be a good I think it's 6 glasses in that picture. I don't remember how many gallons it is, but that's just a good way to get you to do it with the inventive side. You have to, like the girl said, if you don't care for it, you got to make it happen. So yes, so 6 to 8 glasses should be. That's good. I think that's good.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm?
You bring up a good point, Miss Arnita. I've seen a number of um, water bottles now that
Hmm.
that measure how much water you drink,
Hmm.
so that you can keep count of how many ounces you're drinking throughout the day. And some of them are pretty clever.
Right.
They'll have little things like 6 more to go, or
Uh,
ways to kind of motivate you to do that. All in the guise of having you to hydrate more, because when we're hydrated, we function better. Sometimes we're tired, and we're tired because we're dehydrated.
Hmm.
right.
Sometimes we might get a headache, and we might get a headache because we're dehydrated. So
Hmm.
hydration really can play a part in um, the self care of maintaining the functioning of the body.
Hmm. That's a very good
Yes.
point. Very good point.
Hmm.
And my
And
wife actually.
also, for you, I'm sorry, Deville. Go ahead.
No, just I was gonna say my wife actually bought me one of those 1 gallon water bottles that has each hour. It has a motivation for each hour,
Okay, that's what I'm talking
and
about. Yeah.
That's good.
yeah, and it's really cool and fun to do because it helps you check in, and it gives you a
Hmm.
strategy for drinking a gallon of water, because if you're just looking at it like how I would look at it as, okay, I got to drink how many glasses of water or how many,
Hmm.
that
That's
might
it.
discourage me. So, just carrying that
Hmm.
bottle around with each hour, makes it a little more fun for myself. So I was,
Hmm.
just going to chime in with what you were saying about that bottle, that I actually have one and it has been working.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to give one of them. And just one more thing about the water. I'm going back to my little nurse stuff now. With your urine, when you go to the bathroom, and if your urine is like yellow, and you can actually smell your urine, you need some water.
Mm,
Your water should look like water,
Your
mm,
clear.
urine,
Should
you
not.
mean?
I mean, I'm sorry, your urine. I'm sorry, you all. Your urine should look like water. It should be clear, not no yellow, super yellow, tangerine color. Urine. And you have a bowel movement, that should be smooth sailing. So if
mm,
not smooth sailing, you need to drink some water. Water does have to do with your output, and it has to do with your amount and what it looks like. So pay attention to your color. Like I said, it should be clear or not super yellow. I have had patients, never mind, getting too deep. Anyway, it needs to be clear and not smelling, and your bowel movement should be smooth and not constipated. The water helps
Well, and
both.
water helps with that too. And so, thank you, Miss Arnita.
Yes.
I'm wondering, this might be a good time to
Uh-huh.
ask about what our audience thinks what is their definition of self care.
mm.
Deval, can you put that in the chat?
Hmm.
And this is where we actually had someone from our first session come back to our second session. And in our first session, she was able to come away with her own working definition of self care. And so at this time, wondering if she would be willing to step up and either put her self care definition in the chat, or um, come off of mute and read that to us.
That's right. So this is going out to all of our
Hello,
participants.
Danielle.
Oh,
Hi,
I
Danielle.
will read it and I will put it in the chat.
all right,
So
Chantal.
the definition. Hello, everyone. My name is Chantal. I work within the Wellness Center as the office associate. So if you're going into the student health suite, health and wellness suite, I will be the person at the first desk. I will more than likely greet you. but this is the definition that I walked away from this morning with. Self-care, mindful and intentional acts one takes to maintain and rejuvenate one's mental, emotional, and physical being.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I especially like rejuvenate. I especially
Yes.
like the rejuvenate because the rejuvenate is similar to maintenance. We've got someone in the chat here who says, Sade, who says that that's such a good definition. So it's resonating with.
Yes.
So I guess the next question would be, how do you all demonstrate self-care? What are some of the things that you do to maintain your level of self-care? So you can either write your response in the chat, and this is to all our participants in the forum. What do you do for self-care? Given the definition, which I agree with Sade, is such a good definition, because not only are you talking about the maintenance, you're talking about rejuvenation of it all, like you mentioned, Danielle. I think it really just ties it in. But what do you all do, for self-care for yourself? Because it's very important.
Yes, and as some of those answers are coming in, Devel, can you, in the importance, the last time we had started talking about what it wasn't, that it wasn't expensive, that it wasn't selfish, so on and so forth.
Yeah. I think one of the myths is that people think you have to spend money to demonstrate and maintain self-care. And self-care does not have to be something that has a monetary value to it. For example, for some people, self-care is taking walks. For some people, self-care is allotting time to pray to the God of their understanding, and give praise and give thanks for the things that they are thankful for. For another person, it's jogging. For some people, it's going out and engaging in restaurants and going to the movies. I'm a really big movie buff, and before COVID came crashing down, I used to really enjoy going to the movies and going to different movie theaters in different areas and cities. It was sort of like an adventure for myself and my wife. She's a movie buff as well, and so one of the things that
so I have to ask, have you been to iPix then?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been to iPic, and it's amazing. I love iPic.
Yeah.
But one thing that we have to think about is that self-care really is about investing in yourself. And when we think of investments, what's the end goal? The end goal is to see a profit and get a benefit. So when you invest in activities to give you a break from your routine to allow you to continue to be able to live and experience and enjoy life, it's what's needed to be able to help you function. And so Patrice says self-care to her is when she prioritizes herself by taking care of her whole self while still being balanced in all areas of her life. Amazing. I think that's an amazing example. And again, a lot of times people use this statement, well, I just don't have time to do it. And you know what? At a certain point in my life, I used to say the same thing. And I have to remind myself that it's no such thing. So I just want to do a quick poll. How many of you all have said that to yourself? Well, I just don't have time to do something that has nothing to do with a task, a responsibility, a job, work related, kids related, husband related, girlfriend related, boyfriend related. You know, how many of you have told yourself that by putting a 7 in the chat line? Let me know how many have said that to themselves. I just don't have time.
Just don't have time. All right, we're gonna see if you're alone on this one.
I'm gonna start it off with mine. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. They're coming in. They're coming in. The
Yeah.
sevens are coming in. Yes.
Because the reality is we've all done it. We
Yes.
all may have said that before. Okay, I have another response, and it says,
Yes. Gotta be
I like
honest.
to rest.
Uh-huh.
It says I like to rest and exercise by taking a refreshing walk outside. Also reading
Yes.
helps. Yeah, and
Yes.
Sade says we got to be honest.
Gotta be honest. Gotta be they're going right. That's right. And you know, Devel, to your point about not having time, this idea of you make time for what you want to do. It's amazing. When you want to do something, you will find the time to do it.
Absolutely.
Whether you
Absolutely.
have to move things around, whether you have to, whatever you need to do to shift, because as Beatrice said, you're prioritizing, and sometimes your priorities shift,
Hmm.
and sometimes they have to shift in a way to where you do have to put yourself first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
if the old adage, you can't pour from an empty cup. Put your air mask on before you put the one next to you, or might be a child or some other person. It's about doing for yourself so that then you can do for others. You can't do
Absolutely.
for others if it doesn't start first with yourself. And
Absolutely.
that requires the type of maintenance that we're talking about with this self-care.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because we're talking about our mental health and wellness, which really is attached to every other aspect of our life.
And
And so,
intertwined. Connected.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when you deprive yourself of the opportunity to mentally rejuvenate, as Chantal put in her definition, then you are allowing yourself to push the restart button, or for someone to pass the baton to you to finish the rest of the race. And we have to be proactive with our mental health, because let's be real, being an adult, being a student, being a professional, being a husband, being a wife, being a partner can be stressful. Why? Because life can be stressful, situations can be stressful, and we have to allot time to de-escalate. We have to allot time to relax, and what I like to say, take a mental vacation from the stress of it all.
Yeah.
It says Beatrice she has another remark. It says that's true.
Uh-huh.
It could be we find ourselves procrastinating on doing things we least like or enjoy. Motivation is key. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And part of motivation is doing the things that you like to do to keep you going, so that you've got the momentum when you don't want to do it.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely with that in terms of motivation is key. Sometimes it's about momentum too, taking those first couple of steps, and that can get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I know when I was working with a particular student on motivation, and one of the things that we came up with was if they could just get out of bed enough to brush teeth and wash. That's all.
Yeah.
And it was amazing on the days when they could do that, how then they had the momentum to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So sometimes it's just little steps to kind of get the ball rolling. And going back to your point, Miss Arnita, with the hydration, maybe it might be starting off drinking a Dixie, that's 8 ounces.
Yeah.
and you can get through that.
Yeah.
But that's momentum to where maybe you then fill it up again
Yeah.
when it's empty, because you figured, okay, I can drink that 8 ounces. So sometimes it can be all about, as Beatrice is saying, getting that motivation in place.
Yes, true that.
You know, and a lot of times I think we tell ourselves, or I've had clients say that when it comes to making themselves a priority from the perspective of self-care, there's a feeling of guilt. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about how self-care isn't selfish. And so you shouldn't feel guilty about treating yourself the way you need to be treated. You shouldn't feel guilty about doing things for yourself that's going to make you happy, that's going to, remind you that you matter, you're still valued, you're worthy, and, you have the right to be able to continue. And
Right.
so
Right.
you find yourself in that space where you feel guilty. You have to ask yourself, well, if I burn a candle at both ends, will I feel guilty at the result of being shut down? Because our body has a way of shutting us down when we do too much.
Yes.
If you don't take the time to relax, your body will do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
And I've seen it happen. So
I know for me, I'm sorry. I'm talking. I didn't raise my hand. I'm sorry. This
Go
Arnita.
right ahead, Nurse Arnita.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
I forgot about my hand. I know since I've been home, I've been doing more housework. Oh my goodness, I've been doing some serious housework. But between the days that I did a lot of housework, I would take a day and I didn't do nothing. I would read and look at TV, and then the next day I would do housework. So you got to split it up. I mean, if you start getting that guilty feeling, housework today,
Yeah.
but tomorrow I'm not doing nothing. Then that way you won't get stressed and get those guilty feelings.
And you know
That's
what,
how I had
Miss
to break it
Arnita?
up.
You know
Yes.
what? You know what, Miss
Very
Arnita?
good.
Sometimes doing
Yes.
absolutely nothing is just enough self-care.
There you
Sometimes
go.
Exactly.
sometimes we need to just sit and just be.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
We have another comment or question in the chat, so I'm going to read it. It says,
Okay.
I never thought about it like that before. Would you recommend group self-care opportunities over individual? Or when is each best? And that's an amazing question. The answer lies in the individual.
Yes.
The answer lies in the individual and what your preference is. And one of the things that I did and what I recommend others to do is just write a list of two things. Write a list of things that you are interested in, that you already kind of engage in at some point, and then write a list of things that could be something that you're interested in that you've never tried. And then, just pick different options off of both of the lists to experience and explore what works best for you. And see, one individual may feel more comfortable amongst the group. And even in the pandemic, what you can do is you can FaceTime, you can Zoom, you can Google Meets, you can, there's a million of these little groups that you can, access on your phone that I got like maybe 6 or 7 of them on here. Now I only use like 2 or 3 of them, but they're on there. So some people may feel more comfortable amongst other people, and other individuals may feel more comfortable doing things individually. But I'll say this to you. There needs to be some diversity in your self-care. You need to be able to have activities that you can do just by yourself. You should have some options for other individuals. You should have some options for being indoors. You should have some options for being outdoors, so that you don't solely rely on the same thing. Now, there's nothing wrong with relying on what works, but to keep the motivation and the momentum going, you want to be open and receptive to new ideas and new experiences. And so, we have to ask ourselves, what works best for the individual. For me, speaking for myself, a mixture of both works best for me. I have individualized self care activities that I use that work at a specific time for me in a specific need. And then I have a lot of group self care opportunities that I utilize that works for me in other areas and other opportunities. So it's really about the individual, which way you lean towards. But one of the first things to do is just do a self-analysis and a self-assessment of what it is I'm interested in. What is something that I would want to do that I've never tried before but I'm interested in, and what are some things that sound cool that I never really thought about before, but you know what, I might put that on a back burner. And that way you begin to develop your own toolbox and the tools that you decide.
Yes, yes. So with the other piece with self care is something that came up in our last session, and that is that self care can. We identified, I think, three areas here. We identified physical, mental, and emotional.
Mhm.
And there can be other areas as well. For example, there can be spiritual self care,
Yeah.
which doesn't necessarily have to be about religious activities, but more so being able to be present, being able to feel as if you have a purpose. That can be attributed to um, cultivating that aspect of self care, because that's also a part of us
Hmm.
as well. Um, and then if you wanted to branch out even more, you could begin to look at things like um, um, financial self care. Is your financial house in order in terms of, and my goodness, with COVID, it has really turned things on its head for a lot of people financially.
Yes.
And so, what is it that you might need? Somebody's probably saying, "Hey, a job," but besides what I can't give you a job, what are some of the strategies that you might need, perhaps to ease the anxiety around that financial self? So, looking at the person as a whole person with a lot of different dynamic parts that need to be addressed. And so, to your point, in making that list, having that list address different parts of yourself. So, the self care when you need that emotional self care, when you need even that space from others.
That's so true.
Or is that just me?
Not just you.
Oh, okay, that's just me.
No, it's
Um,
not. It's not just you.
oh, it's not just me. Okay,
No,
okay,
it's
It's not
not.
just.
okay. But
No,
those, yes,
no.
a lot of different aspects.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yes,
No. That is a very very valuable point, and I think that if we subscribe to a more holistic lifestyle approach, we will
yeah,
be able to maintain that balance more. I think that because we live in a society that could be considered individualized and filled with instant gratification expectations, we kind of compartmentalize our wellness in our life. And if we start looking at how things really are interlaced, we can find ourselves in a much more healthier space. So I really agree to your point, which is a very valuable point, and I think it helps us really maintain a balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I am noticing the time, and this is where I will make the announcement. I also put it in the chat, but some folks have joined us after I put that in, and I just want to say that we are having a raffle for those who attend. So if you would like to be included in the raffle for attendance, please in the chat put your PGCC email address so that then we can include you in that raffle. We already have a winner from this morning, so look forward to see the person who was drawn from this morning. So we'll draw the person for this session as well. So thank you. Go on and put those email addresses in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and to our audience, don't pass up the opportunity to get some free stuff.
Yes, I think it's a $25 gift card from Amazon.
Hey,
Boom.
That did it.
I should have led with that. You maybe.
Nurse Arnita,
Yes.
as you were, giving us helpful tips, I thought of a question that I think would be some good insight. And what that question is, regardless of male or female, what are some things we should periodically, just check on with our healthcare provider pertaining to, our health? Like, what are some timely things that we should be on our radar, just to check in with, our health? Because it's so easy, especially when we're students, especially when we're full-time moms and dads and, whatever else. It's so easy to discard and put our health on the back burner.
Okay.
So
Yes. That's a good.
what type of things should we be, looking out for?
That's a good question, Darrell, and thank you for that question. And here I go about myself again, because you speak the best about yourself. I have made an appointment with my doctor since I've been out and had a complete physical. So since I'm older than a lot of you all, probably everybody, he's done blood work. Might test you for COVID because that is if you do a walk-in. Now a lot of the visits now over the phone, and I did a over the phone, but my next one in 6 months will be a walk-in. Hopefully I can really walk in. But this would be a good time to visit your doctor. And I'm also getting ready to go to the dentist. No, that's probably not the favorite place, but the dentist. And I also went and had my eyes checked. I had a glaucoma test. So I have been to my primary doctor. I went to the dentist, and I went to the ophthalmologist, which is your eye doctor. Now, just to say, if you all don't have a doctor, you all can go to one of the I call them the clinics, the health clinics, like first care, urgent care. Yes. If they don't have services there, they can refer you to a doctor. If you go to the urgent cares, family cares, those, they can refer you if they don't have. A lot of those places have a doctor to do a physical, but there's going to be a fee. So this is for you all that don't have insurance. Yes, it's going to be a fee if you go to them. And also, you can go to, I think it's MarylandHealthcare.com, I believe it is. You can go online, and if not, you all can email me. Darrell and Danielle can give you my email address, where I can give you the insurance information where you all can start applying for insurance. And I think it's healthcare. It's Healthcare Connect. But have them email me if you want to know the information for insurance if you don't have it. Because I realize a lot of you all, we refer them to Healthcare Connect when you all have walked in without insurance. So I have done
Miss
everything since
Arnita,
I've been on.
Miss
Yes.
Arnita, it's healthcare.gov.
Healthcare.gov. There you
Yes.
go. I was real close.
You were.
Healthcare.gov. I was
Yep.
so stuck with
Isabel.
.gov. And they can help you out.
Excellent.
Driver's license, all that stuff, but just let them know. But I have gone everywhere since I've been back. Since I've been out. So thank you, DeVille, for that question. That's good. This is a good time to do it. And if they can't go in the office, they do it over the phone.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I got another email. All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
And Nurse Arnita, how
Yes.
can students get in contact with you
Okay.
if they had questions, for, anything dealing with
For me. So
wellness or medical?
my personal Prince George's Community College email address is, what is it? Shelton, SHELTOAF at PGCC.
AF. Okay.
SHELTOAF at pgcc.edu. Yep, that's right.
All right.
That's my email address. You all
Excellent.
can email me. I'm home, but I check my emails from the college.
And I just want to tell, you all out here on the forum that, I have picked Miss Arnita and Miss Ann's brain about just different things pertaining to health and wellness because I don't know it all. And I don't pretend to know it all. And I try to utilize the resources there. They've been nothing but helpful and kind and engaging to me. So please, please, please.
Thank you.
You are very, very welcome. If you all have any questions about health or any concerns or need any type of insight, definitely reach out to Miss Arnita and see what you can get because it's out there. There are no excuses for us. And we're out there. Remember, our physical health is a huge portion of our well-being and self-care, and we got to stay on top of that.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I will make the last call for any emails. If you haven't put your email in the chat so that you can be eligible for the raffle. We will notify you by email that you are a winner. So, and it will most likely come from me or DeVal. So, yeah, get those in there.
Okay, we got another one.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, glad I made the announcement.
While we're waiting for other individuals who want to, put their email in, if you feel as though that the information shared has benefited you in any type of way, please put a number 1 in the chat for us, just to let us know that, this is something that has been beneficial for you. This is something that you have, valued or, it was worth us participating. Okay, absolutely. Because you know what?
Wonderful.
We have to have these conversations. We have to have these conversations and we have to educate ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We do.
Ooh. I know that's right, DeVale.
Excellent. All right. So for those of you who have joined us today, thank you so much. We actually do these Friday forums every Friday. First session is at 11, and this is the afternoon session at 3:30. And we'll have different topics. So thank you for joining us for Self-Care Day today with our nurses, Nurse Arnita, and
Thank
earlier we
you.
had Nurse Ann. And we will continue to bring you guest speakers that will address concerns around mental health, around well-being, around self-care, and around some of the ideas that you all identified you wanted to see through the counseling services survey that was sent
Oh,
out.
cool.
So this actually addresses one of those ideas.
All right. Okay, and while you all are out, wear your mask. Stay
Thank you.
6 feet and stay 6 feet apart and wear your mask, please, when you go outside.
Okay. Well, with that, we are going to end and say thank you to for attending to everyone.
All righty.
Bye
You all
bye.
enjoy
Have
your
a good
weekend.
weekend.
Enjoy the
Be
rest of your
safe.
Friday.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Yes, you do the same.
okay, thanks. Be safe.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, DeVal, you and me.
Yep. Yep.
I'm always curious to see when, are they going to leave?
Yeah, I can't lie. I always try to stick around for that as well.
Miss Arnita, you're back? Oh, okay. I thought it said she joined again. Let me stop the recording.
Mhm.